Let's go to Missouri now, where a man who was convicted of a crime 13 years ago says state should just let him go. Well, this is Mr. Anderson's story, where he says he held up a Burger King with a BB gun back in 2000. He posted bail, and the state told him he would receive a letter with instructions on when he should report to jail. In fact, his attorney said, don't do anything until you get the letter. State dropped the ball. Letter never came, never was sent here. The authorities acknowledged that. Anderson went on to live a productive life, got married, had kids, opened 2 businesses, never got in any trouble with the law, and again was living in plain sight, registered. Every time he got a traffic ticket, they handed him his real license, never showed up in the system. Well, 13 years later, a SWAT team showed up at his house and took him away as he was giving his kids cereal. He's now in prison, and he is suing for his freedom. Listen, the guy committed a crime. You do the crime, you do the time. We'll agree to that. However, the kicker to the story is, if he had gone to jail, the same day he was arrested was the day he was going to be released. Be Solomon, guys, here. How do you think...
He was given 13 years?
Yeah. He would have gotten 13 years, I think. That was the sentence.
I mean,
but when he got out...
For time
right.
served or
and then,
good behavior.
So now the question is, what should he get as a result?
What state is this, Missouri?
Missouri.
The governor have a brain in his head?
Governor can obviously pardon him, but there's no indication yet what the governor will or won't do. So you're the governor, would you?
Sure. Guy has shown himself to be a productive model citizen, an entrepreneur. That's exactly why you have governors and pardons.
It's not so easy to say that you would pardon him. One, I don't know if the governor's up for a tough re-election. If you're in the middle of a re-election bid and you don't want to look soft on crime, there will be no pardon. I can understand the argument. The guy...
Okay, let's say you just got reelected. So I'll make it easier for this conversation. So
then,
you don't have
pardon
election. You would?
Pardon him, yeah.
And if you're up for re-election, don't?
Then don't.
Throw this man out of the state.
Then you don't.
Put him on probation. You know, so if he doesn't commit a crime, if he doesn't break the law again, he's fine.
What's the point of sending him to jail if he is
I agree entirely.
already shown that he's rehabilitated?
I agree.
What good to society is being done?
Anthony, you're shaking your head.
It just never ceases to amaze me, our judicial system, because you have somebody who's the wealthy heir to the Firestone family who sexually raped his 3-year-old daughter and didn't get 1 iota of jail time even though he was found guilty. And here you have a man whose SWAT team came in while he was feeding his kids Cheerios. Here. There's just something wrong with the judicial system.
Here.
Well, I didn't say it. I didn't go there. I left it alone
you
tonight.
advised the governor not to do
I left it alone. I left it alone.
We got to 52 minutes,
I didn't go to a racial reason. I mean, I left it alone.
This one real quickly. Governor signed a national popular vote bill. Don't like the idea.
Terrible idea. And it pretends to be a progressive idea. It's going to enhance the notion that the value of fraud. They're going to have to recount the entire nation. Nonsense.
You give all of your a state gives all of its electoral votes to whoever wins the national popular vote, and it only takes effect once you get 270 electoral votes that are signed up to it. So it's now the 11th state that's passed.
You don't like it either.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I know
so
why.
People of New York, the people of New York vote for George Bush, and Bill Clinton gets more votes, so their votes go to Bill Clinton. One of those.
Yeah, I think it was Gore.
Wherever it was.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
What do you think?
You know, as a New Yorker, obviously I know our vote doesn't really matter that much unless we're living in Iowa anyway, but I don't see a problem with the popular vote. I mean, at the end of the day, with exceptions, there are certain times where the president wins the popular vote but doesn't actually win the election. At this point in time, I don't see why not.
It could take weeks. I mean, it frequently takes weeks or even months after election day to know what the exact count is on the popular vote.
They would have had to do a Florida recount in every precinct in the United States.
Ooh, that's another good point.
Every vote does count.
It does,
every
absolutely.
vote does count. I know it's not the presidential race, but I've seen council districts in certain cities where one candidate will win with a margin of 5 votes. So every vote does count.
I'm just surprised. I guess I'm surprised the governor would support it. It would seem to me at least counterintuitive to what your residents would want. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like you throw your state into the pot.
No one's paid any attention to it.
But by the way, I think, what is it now, Andrew? I think
it's 11 states.
11 states or something. And I think there's a bunch of others that are considering it now as well. Yeah. So anyway. Okay, we're going to wrap things up when we come back. Stay with us.